Let's say you've had this goal of becoming fluent in English for a long time, for many years even. But after having tried so many things, you still haven't reached that goal. What to do? Have you ever considered changing your goal? At least temporarily. So instead of focusing on becoming fluent in English, you change the goal to finding enjoyment in language learning, in English learning, or find ways to make the English learning process a lot more enjoyable. Let's get into it.
Hey guys, before we return to the video, I just want to tell you that ESA is now open for application. So if you are a professional or an expat who need to urgently speak English in your life, make sure that you check this out because it's going to be super interesting. So go on the website, click apply now, and we will get in touch with you if you guys are a fit into this program. So back to the video and enjoy.
So I recently came across this book called Obliquity. So I haven't actually read the book from start to finish, but I have read enough of the summary to know that the central thesis of the book is basically about how complex problems, or some problems, are best achieved indirectly. So one example that this book uses is how companies who are focused, whose goal is to maximize their profit, usually end up failing. But those companies whose goal is to create products that customers love to solve people's problem, they are the ones who tend to succeed in maximizing their profit. So paradoxically, those companies whose focus is to maximize profit end up failing, but those who do not focus on that and just focus on, making the customers happy, they're the ones who increase their profits. So this principle, how can we apply that to language learning? So if your primary goal is to become fluent in English and you find yourself obsessing to become fluent and you just try to practice and not really enjoy the process, that usually ends up backfiring on you. Like let's say you find yourself constantly thinking, how can I get better? What kind of lessons should I take? How can I become fluent? Like I need to practice, I need to talk more and more. A lot of the times you end up burning out or end up, not enjoying the process. And if you've been doing that and if you keep on doing that and it's not really leading you to any results, maybe it's time to change your approach and change your focus to how can I find ways to make this enjoyable. Well, at least you want to try to shift your goal temporarily and see if it works. So this can be done by a couple of different things. First, you want to find enjoyable materials. So if you've watched a lot of my videos, you probably already hear this a lot. Having the right materials, having the right resources or content from which you learn English is extremely important because this is the key to immersion. If you find materials that you keep wanting to engage with, you keep wanting to consume, you will always try to expose yourself to as much English as you can. Go on Netflix, browse through some series and tell yourself, okay, which of these series would I enjoy? What kind of stories do I like to enjoy following? Instead of thinking, okay, which of these movies or shows are going to help me improve my English? Just think, okay, which will I like better? Which will I enjoy better? So when learning feels fun, when watching these TV shows is something that you do for fun, it becomes less of a chore and it makes you want to do it even more, which means you're exposing yourself to more English. So I cannot stress more the importance of finding materials that you enjoy. So share with me in the comments down below, what kind of content do you like to interact with? Do you like to expose yourself to? Share it in the comments down below. Number 2 is discover your learning style. So, you want to experiment with different styles of learning that you find the most enjoyable. So for a lot of people, myself including, I don't enjoy going to classes and do exercises in a workbook because that's just boring. But if that's your thing, then go for it. For me, of course, I prefer to watch TV shows, but other people, let's say they prefer to vlog or to journal in their diary. So using these kinds of learning style, doing things that you actually enjoy doing already and just shift it to English. Let's say you're in the habit of writing things down, writing your thoughts down in Bahasa Indonesia. try to shift it to English. Challenge yourself a little bit. So maybe if you're someone who don't really enjoy activities that are quite solitary in nature, like let's say, writing or watching TV shows, you can do something a little bit more social. Let's say you feel like you learn a lot better when you're around people. Then maybe going to like an English learning club or even creating your own where you can interact with other people suits you better. You're a social person, so you feel like you learn a lot more when you get to interact with others. So this requires a little bit of self-discovery and self-awareness a little bit. So you want to look back in your past and see what kind of learning style suits you best. Before we continue, comment down below to share your preferred learning style. So number 3 is incorporate games or apps. So these days there's just a lot of apps, websites, or even video games that you can use to learn English. And if you are someone who enjoys the gamification of things and you feel like you learn better through playing games, then go for it. Find games online that will push you to learn English. Of course, the most popular app would be Duolingo. Of course, there's like a pros and cons of that. But if your goal is to find the learning process enjoyable, then you can go for that. For me personally, I don't really like playing games, like video games or anything like that, because I don't know, I just don't really like competition. But if you're someone who's driven by competition and you like seeing the scores by the end of the game and that motivates you, then go for it. You can even try apps that are not even designed to learn English, but just apps or games where you have to interact in English, where you actually have to speak with other people in English, where you have to understand the storyline in English. And of course, when you really want to get immersed in the game, you have to understand things in English. That's going to push you to learn. So that again is achieving the your English fluency or improving your English skills indirectly. So by shifting your focus and taking off the pressure to become fluent, and instead finding creative ways where you can make yourself enjoy the process, fluency will come as a byproduct of that. When you're having fun and you're fully immersing yourself in the language without even realizing, then of course fluency will come as a natural result. So I hope that you like this video and you learn a little bit, get some ideas to bring your English to the next level. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up for the algorithm, and I'll see you next week on another video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.